Long ago, in the valley of Elah, two armies faced each other in a standoff that would become legendary. On one side stood the mighty Philistines, and on the other, the Israelites. But this isn't just a tale of two armies. It's the story of a giant who seemed unbeatable, a warrior named Goliath. Picture this. Goliath was a monster of a man, standing over 9 feet tall, covered in bronze armor that weighed more than most men. His spearhead alone was heavier than a bowling ball. Every morning and evening for 40 days, he would stride out between the armies, his voice booming across the valley, mocking the Israelites and challenging them to send out a champion to fight him. The sight of him was enough to make the bravest warriors tremble. Who would dare face such a beast? The Israelite soldiers would back away whenever he approached, whispering among themselves about this seemingly invincible warrior. King Saul, their leader, offered riches, his daughter's hand in marriage, and tax exemption to anyone who would fight Goliath, but no one stepped forward. That is, until a young shepherd boy named David arrived at the camp. He was delivering food to his brothers who were soldiers, but when he heard Goliath's taunts, something stirred in him. While others saw an unbeatable giant, David saw something different. He saw a man defying his God. Despite the protests of his brothers and the skepticism of King Saul, David volunteered to fight. They tried to put armor on him, but he refused. It was too heavy and unfamiliar. Instead, he picked up his shepherd's staff, his sling, and 5 smooth stones from a nearby stream. When Goliath saw this young boy approaching with just a staff and sling, he was insulted. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" he roared. He cursed David by his gods and promised to feed his flesh to the birds, but David stood firm. "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin," he called out, "but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." With that, he loaded his sling, took aim, and let fly a single stone. The stone struck Goliath in the forehead, the one unprotected spot in his armor. The giant swayed for a moment, then crashed to the ground like a fallen oak. David had done what seemed impossible. He had defeated the mighty Goliath. This story has echoed through the ages, not just as a tale of victory, but as a reminder that sometimes the biggest battles aren't won by the strongest or the best armed, but by those who have faith, courage, and the wisdom to use their own unique strengths. It teaches us that giants, whether they're actual enemies or the challenges we face in life, can fall, even when all odds seem stacked against us. And perhaps most importantly, it shows us that what matters isn't the size of the warrior in the fight, but the size of the fight and the faith in the warrior.